So Jennifer, you're going to go through the housekeeping there?
I am. I'm just going to make sure everybody's admitted here.
Sure.
Looks like
I'm
Todd Lowry. Just given a few more minutes. So we've got all the, we've got more members that are coming in.
Sure. I just wanted to make sure you weren't waiting on me to do that.
No, I think we've got, and Bruce from USDOL is saying that there's an echo. So if you are not speaking, I would appreciate you keeping your phone muted. All right. And Eric's about to join right now. Mike. All right, I can keep admitting people as we go, but I think we're going to get started. This is Jennifer Phillips. I am staff to this Apprenticeship Illinois committee. And just a few reminders that we want to start with. The meeting will be recorded. Attendees should be muted and members of the public are absolutely welcome at this meeting, but need to refrain from comments until the public comment period at the end of the agenda. All of the meeting materials can be found on the WorkNet IWIB page. I put the link to that in the chat. And just so you know what's included there, we've got the minutes, the agenda for today, the committee's quarterly report, and the slides. And also in the chat is the audio option. If anyone has any technical difficulties, please feel free to call in if you're having trouble. And with that, I'd like to welcome Michael Connolly, the Apprenticeship Illinois Committee Chair.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the September quarterly meeting of the Apprenticeship Illinois Committee. We have a lot on our agenda today and some things that are going to take a little bit of time. So we want to move along as quickly as we possibly can. There's been some activity behind the scenes over the last few months since our June meeting. The marketing work group's kind of wrapped up its work, and we're going to hear not wrapped up its work, but completed one component of their work in the new website. And Tony Berman's going to introduce that to us today. But primarily, Jennifer and I have been concentrating on recruiting new members. You may or may not recall that we were short about 6 members at our last meeting. And so we were able to fill 5 of those positions. And hopeful that we'll be able to round that out in the very near future here. So I wanted to take just a couple of minutes to introduce those new members and read a little brief biography from each of them and allow them the opportunity to introduce themselves to the committee and make any comments that they'd like to make. So first up is Arthur Bishop. Many of you are probably familiar with Arthur. He's been worked around the Workforce Innovation Board for the entire time that I've been on it, at least, and probably for some period of time before that. Arthur started his career in social services with the city of Chicago as a community mental health worker in 1975. In 1995, he became an employee with the state of Illinois Department of Children and Family Services as a caseworker. He was promoted to a supervisor in 1997, to a field service manager in 2000, assistant chief of staff in 2001, and in 2003 he was named the deputy director of field operations for DCFS. On August 1st, 2010, he was appointed as acting director of the Illinois Department of Juvenile Justice, confirmed as the director of that bureau in January of 2011, and reconfirmed in February as a result of the systems that he implemented in juvenile justice. Arthur received the John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Foundation Models for Change, Champions for Change Award in December of 2012. Arthur was later the acting director of the Illinois Department of Children and Family Services until he retired from the state in February of 2014. He's currently the chief program officer for the Safer Foundation. Arthur has a master's degree in Human Services Administration from Spertus College in Chicago and an undergrad degree in sociology from Trinity Christian College in Palos Heights. Arthur, welcome. Thank you for your willingness to join the committee. Do you have any comments you'd like to make to the group?
First and foremost, good morning to all, and I'm excited and again humbled to be part of this very important committee. And also I'm representing, the part of the underserved population I'm getting an echo, I think.
I see that. And there we go.
Okay, just again, this committee and the work that we're doing and the mission is extremely important to many. And then the population that we serve, is the Safer Foundation. Tell you from experience and direct observation, intimate conversations, that what we're doing is extremely important in their lives. And we use numbers, for instance, to get funding and data and so on. But I'm always reminded that those numbers, that data are lives that we're talking about. And so again, thankful to be a part of it, looking forward to the great work.
Thank you, Arthur. I mean, I think all of us who have worked with you over the years appreciate your passion and your advocacy for the population that that you represent. And we also believe that in addition to helping those people's lives, that they are really important drivers in creating a more robust workforce for all of us to benefit from. So thank you for that. So the remainder of the new members all come from business, and they all come from, and we've been very intentional about this, I think, from high demand occupations, and also business people who have had experience with and believe in the value of apprenticeship as a workforce strategy. So Tim Engstrom. Tim is the Senior Vice President of Supply Chain for Ascendant, which is based in Deerfield, Illinois. He's also an adjunct professor in supply chain, the master's program in supply chain management at Elmhurst University. Tim is also very involved in creating opportunities for the cognitively and physically disabled. He's the co-author of the Hope Handbook, which is a guide for disability hiring. In his job, Tim is part of the executive leadership team that's responsible for supply chain management across more than 30 distribution centers, and the liaison to the Staples supply chain operations. As I said, he's an adjunct professor at Elmhurst University. In addition to teaching classes at Elmhurst, Tim mentors a group of graduate students in implementing a capstone project that analyzes and implements solutions to supply chain challenges. Excuse me, say that 3 times fast. Supply chain challenges for local businesses. And it's here that the idea of creating a handbook for disability hiring was born, and looking to solve staffing challenges as well as supporting businesses' social responsibilities. Prior to joining Ascendant in 2019, Tim was head of supply chain at Laco Industries from 2016 to 2019, where he transformed the operation utilizing lean methodologies and won an award for implementing a disability hiring program. Before then, he was Group Vice President of U.S. Distribution for Walgreens from 2012 to 2016, Senior Director of Operations for Lawson Products in Chicago from 2010 to 2012, and formerly Director of Operations for Office Max in Itasca, where he also held other positions. Tim has a master's in supply chain management from Elmhurst University, earned his bachelor's in transportation and physical distribution from Western Illinois University. He was selected as a distinguished graduate alumnus from Elmhurst University in 2019. We're very excited to have him aboard because he checked so many boxes for things that are important to us as a committee. Tim, welcome. Would you like to introduce yourself and make any comments you'd like to the committee?
Sure, thanks, Mike. I really am excited to join the committee. This is a passion of mine of developing folks, building the bench, and creating opportunities where we can take folks' abilities and turn them into capabilities. So really excited to participate and look forward to the great work that we can work together and do for the future. So thanks for having me.
Thank you, Tim. We appreciate your participation. So next up is Sean Loaz. Sean works for Power Construction in Chicago. Brings a breadth of experience developing and managing diversity and inclusion programs on projects around the Chicago region. Sean started his career as an inclusion consultant. He progressed after 4 years to working for the City of Chicago's Department of Planning and Development, focusing on the community impact of large-scale developments. Since joining Power Construction 3 years ago, Sean's created new initiatives for increasing diversity participation in contracting, project workforce, and internal initiatives. He's a dedicated resource and works with project teams, subcontractors, government agencies, nonprofit companies, and community organizations to achieve diversity, equality, and inclusion goals. Sean, welcome to the committee. You and I have talked with each other for a number of months now, and we're glad to have you on board and appreciate your participation. If you'd like to introduce yourself and make any comments you'd like to the committee, we would welcome that. Sean with us, Jennifer?
I thought he was. I'm sorry. You know what? I'm not seeing him listed on the participant list right now.
Okay.
Am I coming through now?
Oh,
Sure.
sorry
Okay,
about that.
he's on my phone. Sorry.
Sorry, yeah. I was trying to figure out how to mute myself. Apologies for that. So no, I really appreciate you inviting me to join this group. You know, through discussions we've had, and I got to attend the last meeting. There's just a ton of overlap between what you all are focused on and what I've been working on in the construction industry for, you know, the better part of a decade. So I'm excited to get involved and see where this can go. And, you know, this work is so critical, you know, across the board, but really for the construction industry is absolutely critical to make sure that, you know, we have enough folks to be able to do the work that needs to be done in this state, you know, over the next, you know, decades. So thanks again for inviting me and look forward to getting more involved.
Thank you, Sean. Great to have you on board. So next, Daniel Sirota, who I think probably a number of the committee members will be familiar with. Daniel is the Senior Manager, Public Affairs North America for Aon. Also, many are aware that Daniel is the sort of architect of the Chicago, or one of the architects of the Chicago Apprenticeship Network. He's responsible for creating meaningful and sustainable connections with a variety of stakeholders to further Aon's public service mission and community outreach activities. Daniel's responsibilities include on Aon's Political Action Committee, as well as leading public policy initiatives for Aon at the federal, state, and regulatory level domestically. Prior to joining Aon, Daniel was a senior policy analyst for Independence Blue Cross, where he managed and interpreted regulations affecting the organization as a result of the Affordable Care Act. He also has served on the staff of Congressman Robert Dole. Daniel has a degree in political science from Bradley University. He lives in Barrington with his wife Chloe and their two sons Dean and Owen. Jennifer, if I'm not mistaken, Daniel's not with us today, but he has.
I'm here.
I'm sorry. I apologize for that. I thought your designee was with us today, Daniel, but please.
No, I'm here. Well, look, I'm excited to be a part of this. As Mike alluded to, created the Chicago Apprentice Network now 4 years running, and I think there's a lot of overlap and opportunity to take some of the work we've done in the Chicagoland area and bring it broader in the state, and look forward to being part of this committee. And definitely a lot of familiar faces, which is exciting. So thanks, Mike, for including me, and Jennifer. Excited to be here.
Great. Thank you very much, Daniel. Finally, Eric Shine from Rivian. For those of you who are not aware who Rivian is, which, I mean, they've been garnering quite a bit of publicity here lately, so most of us should be aware who they are. But Eric is a production, scheduling, and systems manager at Rivian and helped launch their apprenticeship program with Heartland Community College. Eric has his Bachelor of Science in Engineering and Industrial Management from Southern Illinois University, Carbondale. He's been a welding instructor at Parkland College and worked for 5 years for Colmac Coil Manufacturing in Paxton. He is a 6-sign green belt certified. I wish I knew what that meant, but maybe Eric can explain it to us when he comes up. Rivian is an American electric vehicle automaker and automotive technology company that was founded in 2009. They were featured just yesterday in the New York Times. In April, DCEO announced a $7.5 million investment through the governor's Rebuild Illinois Capital Plan to create a state-of-the-art manufacturing training academy at Heartland Community College. And that investment will enable the development of the new electric vehicle energy storage manufacturing training academy. This first of its kind electric vehicle manufacturing training program is made possible by a partner with Rivian, who's an electric vehicle manufacturer, and is expected to create an additional 1,600 jobs over the next 2 years alone. By matching state funds with a $1.5 million private employer commitment, Heartland Community College will develop a new auto shop used exclusively for training for EV manufacturing. The program will help meet growing needs of the region and will help prepare Illinois to seize on the rapid growth of the electric vehicle industry, with Illinois jobs in that sector expected to double by 2024. Eric, are you with us, and would you like to say a few words to the committee?
Good morning, everybody, and thank you, Mike and Jennifer. I'm really inspired to be part of this committee, to have the chance to really tackle some of the challenges our state is facing in terms of skilled employment. And I would like to just be that bridge between the clean energy sector, between Rivian Automotive, and developing apprenticeships that are in line with business needs, as well as the timeliness of that, seeing how we can take structured courses into compressing that timeline to get people into the workforce as soon as possible and reducing those barriers of long education times, as well as other obstacles in the way. So once again, just really happy to be part of the committee, and thank you very much.
It's great to have you on board, Eric, and I think we're excited to have you on the committee, and also excited to have Rivian operating in the state. That is the conclusion of the new member introductions, but very excited to have the committee close to being fully staffed at this point. We're going to kind of go through, you see there that Jennifer's compiled logos from the members of the committee, the organizations that they work for in their day jobs primarily. We're going to do a roll call, but I think we're going to do a silent roll call, and Jennifer can see the members who are available, and she'll just confirm that we have a quorum.
I'm going to read off, thanks, Mike. I'm going to read off names, and if I'm missing your name, it may be because you've got a phone number and I can't identify you. But we've got Mike Connolly, Tony Furman, Manny Rodriguez, Dr. Laz Lopez, Julio Rodriguez, and Patrick Campbell are on the line, Levon Nelson, Todd Lowry, Michelle Velez, Elba Arandasu, Arthur Bishop. I'm not sure if Tim Dre, are you on the line? If you could unmute your line and say present. I'll keep going. Tim Engstrom, Sean Gloez, Sarah Hardwick is, I do not believe, on unless she's on by telephone. Sarah? Dan Kamen, I'm not seeing as well. Dan? Chadra Lang is present. Dan Sirota, Eric Shine, and I believe Rob Sweigel is on by phone. Rob, if you are, could you unmute and say present?
Present.
Excellent. Mike, there is a quorum.
Great, thank you very much, Jennifer. So moving right along, Tony Furman is going to report on the fairly robust activities of the marketing work group over the last few months, and give us a sneak peek, I think, at the redesigned website. Tony?
Mike, actually, before we do that, we still have to approve the June 17th, 2021 minutes. And Elba, just caught a mistake in there and that she was not marked as present for that meeting. So I will amend those minutes. They're posted on the WorkNet Apprenticeship Illinois site, but if we can count those as amended to show that Elba was present at the June meeting, you could do a call for a motion to approve those minutes.
Okay, can I have a motion to approve those minutes as amended?
Motion.
Yep.
Sound like a motion and second. You see the poll that's up on the screen, just.
And just
check
a
it.
reminder, that's for voting, for the voting members of the committee. So I've got, it should be about 17.
I also skipped over while we're doing that, kind of a recap of the committee expectations and roles. So I apologize for that. They're on the screen. We can read through them. I don't think that I need to repeat them. Although I would say that going forward, I think one of our next challenges is going to be to try to just re-examine those expectations and roles and build them out if necessary and adjust them if necessary as we're moving forward, and maybe add a few more specific bullet points or context to them. So we'll give everybody just a minute to read through those.
Sorry.
That's okay. There they
Sorry
are.
about that. And my colleague Martha Smith is helping take minutes, and she did not get the names of the motion and the second. Maybe just.
It was Rob, I think, was the motion.
Mhm.
Right, that's correct.
Thank you,
I heard another
And I-
voice. Sorry.
And then I second Manny.
Manny. Perfect. Thank you.
So if you have comments or questions or things about that, or things that you think are important that we need to add to our sort of expectations and roles document or our committee charges, please forward those to Jennifer or myself, and we'll certainly take that into consideration as we're discussing those things moving forward. So now, Tony, I gave you a little grace period there, but take it away.
Thanks, Mike. So marketing work group continues to be very active. The beginning of the year, we set 2 priorities. First was to oversee the creation of the communication, messaging, and materials. What we have focused on this year is the website and redeveloping the website and making improvements to the website, which we'll talk about here in a minute. The other one was the overseeing the development and implementation of the apprenticeship stakeholder engagement events. What we focused on this year is Apprenticeship Week, and we will have an update on what we're looking at and activities for Apprenticeship Week as well. So we continue to meet monthly, the first Thursday afternoon of the month at 2 o'clock. If anyone in this group or in the public is interested in becoming part of our group, please reach out to Jennifer or myself, and we'll be glad to include you. So some of the analytics that we're looking at for the website, as you can see, comparing 2020 to the first 2 quarters of 2021, we've seen a decrease in usage in the website. If you look at 2020, we had almost 43,000 unique visits. So far for 6 months in 2021, we've only seen just under 14,500. So we're short to where we were. Employers too. I mean, we had 1,700 in 2020 and we're just over 600. And people looking for resources is way down as well. 1,700, almost 1,800 in 2020 and just over 600 so far in 6 months in 2021. So that has started the emphasis on why we started working on the website. We had some concerns about how user-friendly it was, how many clicks it took to get to things. So we've been working on that. So and if you want to go to the next slide. So the goal of the marketing work group on the website redesign was to make the website user-friendly, easy to navigate, and the fewest clicks possible, aesthetically pleasing, not overcrowded, with information and mobile friendly. So we've tried to work on a lot. We've been working for several months. I will tell you that Jennifer and David Garvey have put numerous hours into working on the website and getting it to where we're at today. Working work group met on September 2nd to do the final review of the website before we presented it today. They approved that. There was an evaluation form for the work group members to provide additional feedback. Even as we go through the process today, if the committee members or the public would like to review that and provide comments, we view the website as something that's always going to be a work in progress, always looking to improve and make it better. So at this point, I want to turn it over to David Garvey from WorkNet, and he is going to walk you through the tour of the website as it has been redeveloped and do some comparisons to the website as it was. So David.
Thank you, Tony. Good morning, everyone. My name is David Garvey. I'm a content specialist with Illinois WorkNet. And as Tony stated, we'll take a look at the apprenticeship website. So this is what you see on the screen here. This is the current version of the apprenticeship site. See, as we go down, this is just the landing page. Where at the top we have information about the funding opportunity, stats, and a little information video about the apprenticeship framework, as well as the ability to submit questions. And then under here, we have some buckets of information: become an apprentice, hire an apprentice, talk to someone. And what we wanted to do with the site here is to, you can see we have a lot of information down here, latest info, apprenticeship in the news. And so you can get an example of what we have some numbers at the top on. I think there was an issue with YouTube this morning that is why that video is not displaying, but that'd be the informational video about apprenticeship. And then down here, in addition to what is apprenticeship, we have some images of the components of an apprenticeship: a job, work-based learning, classroom learning, mentorship, credentials, and how to find a program. So that's an but with the assistance of the marketing work group, we've made a lot of exciting changes to, this is a version on test that's not available to the public, but we would like to move in this direction here. And we have, at this landing page, this would be, when users go to apprenticeshipillinois.com, this would be the first thing they see here is discover more about apprenticeship. And then below this, we have, kind of standing out a little bit more are some of those the information center and employer information, and we'll open those pages up in a moment. But to continue down the landing page here, we have a section for what's on this page, sort of a table of contents of this landing page. And we have these hyperlinked so that if a user, when they come here, they're an employer and they need help, they can click this and it'll jump down the screen to a form that they can fill out where they provide their name, email address, zip code, and comment. And then they'll submit that. And we'll have a representative follow up with them. But to scroll back up here, underneath this table of contents, we have apprenticeship data from the second quarter of this year. And we'll update these on a quarter. They show the number of programs, new apprentices, and new programs. And then below here, we have what is an apprenticeship. We have a little statement there. And below this, we have a infographic that shows the 5 components of a registered apprenticeship. And to the right here, we have a sign up for the Apprenticeship Illinois mailing list where they can, user can enter their email address and check the box and subscribe to the Illinois WorkNet distribution list. This would be for notices about apprenticeship that we send out, and they would receive an email from there. Below this, here we have that video again of the Apprenticeship Illinois framework. and some information to the left explaining apprenticeships are both registered and non-registered. As well as information about pre-apprenticeships and youth apprenticeships, and links to the apprenticeship.gov site for more information. Then scrolling down here, we saw that employer contact form earlier. We also have one for job seekers, and they enter that same information, name, email address, zip code, comment. And the reason for zip code is we can then determine which navigator, intermediary, that employer, job seeker, we can connect with. And then below here, we have apprenticeship industries. And we have links to the workforce GPS site and Department of Labor for these different industries with more information. And below this, we have the apprenticeship success stories, and the success stories that we'll display here are all that are part of the Apprenticeship Illinois program, whether it's a job seeker, an employer, or a grantee submitting a success story that'll for more information. And below this, we have the apprenticeship events calendar. And while this is the Illinois WorkNet calendar, and at the moment it's showing all events, what we can do is apply a tag to this calendar so that it would show any events that are submitted to Illinois WorkNet that are tagged as apprenticeships would display here. So for now, this is all the events, but as we get more apprenticeship events entered into the calendar, those will populate right here. And then below this, we have logos of the state agencies and Apprenticeship Illinois partners. And so this is the landing page that we have here. We scroll back up. We also have a menu at the top, the Apprenticeship Illinois homepage, the Apprenticeship Week. So yeah, in addition to selecting the links here, we can also select Become an Apprentice, Employers Information Center, and we also have a contact page. But if we open up the Become an Apprentice page, at the top, we'll see some text here. And additionally, a Back to Apprenticeship Illinois homepage, which we have on all of the sub pages. And so again, we'll see that kind of table of contents, jump menu, what is an apprenticeship, and a video about discovering apprenticeship, the 5 key components. And then below here, we have diversity and inclusion in apprenticeships. And this is currently linking to the apprenticeship.gov site, apprenticeship for returning residents, returning citizens. And then below these two, we also have apprenticeship for veterans and apprenticeship for disabled persons. And below this, we have reasons to why become an apprentice. We have icons and little descriptions here. And then below this, we have Find an Apprenticeship Program, which goes to the DOL site, as well as Illinois Apprenticeship Initiatives, which are initiatives that are taking place within the state. They're affiliated with the Apprenticeship Illinois program. And below here, we have the mailing list form and the job seekers contact form again. So if they have any questions about anything they're viewing on this page, they can fill that out and submit it. And then below this, we have apprenticeship success stories, and this is filtered specifically to an individual or a participant or employers as well, so that on the employer page, they'll see employer success stories. And something that I do want to note for each page that we have on the apprenticeship site, they are responsive and mobile friendly. So no matter if you're joining from a desktop computer or an iPhone, a tablet, iPad, the text and content will adjust as needed. You just kind of see here scrolling down, it shrunk down to size, but none of the text or graphics, images are getting cut off. So that way, what Tony was referring to, we want to have a mobile friendly, easy to navigate site for all users. Okay, so that's the become an apprenticeship, or sorry, the job seekers page. We also have the employer information page. You can jump back to the information center in a moment. Again, we have the back to the Apprenticeship Illinois homepage, what's on this page. And then for the employers, what we have is how to get started creating an apprenticeship program, working with an apprenticeship navigator, explaining information about what apprenticeship navigators can do with employers. And then below this, we have the navigator contact information. So their name, their organization, the LWIA, the region, the counties they serve, as well as the email and phone number of that navigator. And below the navigator section, we have the tax credit information, as well as the employer contact form and the mailing list for Apprenticeship Illinois. And then we have below this, the business case for apprenticeships, skilled workforce, improved productivity, reduced customizable training, retain workers and diversities. And each of these buttons leads to